Match day 1 of the 2026-27 League of Portugal season is officially here, and public money is already overreacting to off-season narratives. When a brand new campaign kicks off, sportsbooks face their highest uncertainty of the year. Public bettors routinely fall into reputation traps, blindly backing big names and ignoring structural roster turnover, regression baselines, and early season pressing intensity. Welcome back to Slip Logic, where we cut through the emotion to deliver sharp, data-driven breakdowns. Today, we are running the numbers across 4 key opening weekend fixtures, evaluating non-penalty expected goals, spatial field tilt, and market mispricings to lock in our highest positive expected value edges for match week 1.
First up, when defending champions FC Porto host FC Alverca SAD, casual money is avoiding the multi-goal spread due to opening weekend hesitation. But when you break down non-penalty expected goals, defensive pressing intensity, and spatial field tilt, the numbers signal a massive structural edge for the hosts. Today, we dive into why Porto's home dominance yields a high-value plus 15.2% expected value advantage. Let's look directly at the process statistics powering this opening round clash. FC Porto operates a high-frequency positional model, averaging 1.85 actual goals per match against a non-penalty expected goals baseline of 1.78 per 90 at home. Defensively, at the Dragão, Ostrogoians allow a miserly 0.72 NPXGA, suffocating opposition buildup with an elite 8.6 PPDA press and commanding 62.0% field tilt. FC Alverca SAD operates at a massive territorial disadvantage on the road. Os Maioria averaged just 37.5% field tilt away from home, while yielding 1.35 NPXGA. Alverca's road backline surrenders 13.8 shot attempts per away match, consistently allowing opposition midfielders to find high-probability shot angles.
Roster dynamics and tactical matchups heavily favor Francesco Ferrioli's side on Sunday night. Fresh off their Supertaça victory, Porto features full structural continuity through their midfield and front line. Gabri Veiga orchestrates central combinations alongside Pepe and Borja Sainz, maintaining a team passing distance floor exceeding 420 meters per 90. With Jan Bednarak, Jakub Kiwior, and Diogo Costa anchoring the backline, Porto's clean sheet baseline remains near 60%. Alverca relies on physical target play through Sandro Lima on long clearances. However, facing Porto's suffocating counterpress, Alverca's defense will be forced to absorb sustained inner box pressure for full 90-minute stretches.
Now, let me break down the exact mathematical mispricing in the sportsbooks. Porto's straight money line at minus 500 offers 0 standalone wagering value. However, odds makers price FC Porto minus 1.75 Asian handicap at minus 185 decimal, which carries an implied win probability of 54.05%. Factoring in Porto's 1.78 home NPXG creation floor and Alverca's 1.35 road NPXGA, our quantitative model projects a 65.00% probability that FC Porto wins by 2 or more goals, returning a full win on 3+ goals and a half win on a 2-goal margin. Let the casual public stay hesitant while we lock in verified mathematical value. Our primary play for this League of Portugal curtain raiser is FC Porto minus 1.75 Asian handicap minus 118, with FC Porto win to nil plus 105 serving as a strong secondary selection. Next up, when Gil Vicente FC hosts Rio Ave FC, let's examine the process statistics driving this Sunday night match. Gil Vicente operates a balanced 4-2-3-1 setup. At home, Os Galos average 1.25 actual goals per match against a non-penalty expected goals baseline of 1.32 per 90, paired with a solid 1.22 NPXGA defensively. They hold 52.0% field tilt to control wide half spaces. Rio Ave operates at a clear territorial deficit on the road. Vila Condense's average just 44.0% field tilt away from home, while generating a low 1.02 NPXG creation floor. Rio Ave's defensive block surrenders 12.8 shot attempts per away match, allowing opposition playmakers to operate near the edge of the 18-yard box.
Roster dynamics and historical patterns strongly reinforce a low-margin game flow.
Gui Vicente returns central distribution continuity through Luis Esteves and Santi Garcia, driving a steady, progressive passing distance floor over 360 meters per 90. Supported by Zé Carlos and Ghislaine Koenen, their backline keeps matches tight. Rio Ave relies on direct counterattacks through Dario Špikic and Jalen Bleza. However, yielding 1.28 NPXGA away from home, goalkeeper Cesare Mishta will be forced to command his box carefully. Most importantly, historical trend data is compelling. Their last 3 consecutive league clashes have ended in draws, including a cagey 0-0 standstill in May 2026.
Now let me show you where the quantitative mispricing lies. Consensus Sportsbooks price under 2.25 Asian total goals at -133, 1.75 decimal, which carries an implied probability of 57.14%. However, factoring in both teams' sub-1.30 expected goal metrics, opening round tactical caution, and a long history of tight encounters, our model sets the true probability of 2 or fewer goals at 67%. Let the casual public guess match winners while we secure verified mathematical value. Our primary play for this League of Portugal Matchday 1 clash is under 2.25 Asian total goals, -133, with Gil Vicente draw no bet +0 serving as a strong secondary selection.
On our third match, Moreirense FC hosts SC Braga. Let's examine the process statistics powering this opening night clash. SC Braga operates a high-volume attacking scheme on the road, averaging 2.10 actual goals scored per match against an 1.70 non-penalty expected goals baseline. They pair that with an aggressive 9.0 PPDA high press, controlling 59.0% field tilt to pin opposition lines deep in their own third. Moreirense operates at a major territorial deficit at home. Os Homens de Conagos average just 41.5% field tilt and generate a low 1.10 NPXG creation floor. Moreirense drops into a passive 13.5 PPDA mid to low block, surrendering middle third ball progression to survive.
Roster dynamics and historical dominance tell a single, decisive story. Braga enters with an elite creation core available. Rodrigo Salazar and João Moutinho dictate central progression, feeding high-probability entries into Ricardo Horta, Pau Victor, and Fran Navarro. Backed by Lukas Hornicek in goal and a tight 1.12 NPXGA defensive process, Braga limits counterattacking risks. Moreirense relies on isolated vertical passes toward Kiko Bondoso and Luis Semedo. However, facing Braga's suffocating counterpress, Moreirense attack lacks the sustained volume to exploit Braga's backline. Furthermore, historical precedent is absolute. Braga has won each of their last 6 direct meetings across all competitions, including a 1-0 away victory at this very ground.
Now let's examine the mathematical mispricing in the sportsbooks. Odds makers price SC Braga -0.75 Asian handicap at -108, carrying an implied probability of 51.81%. However, factoring in Braga's 1.70 away NPXG floor, Moreirense's low creation ceiling, and 6 consecutive H2H wins, our model projects Braga's true probability of covering the -0.75 line, winning by 2 or more for a full win, or winning by 1 for a half payout at 62.00%. Data beats opinion every single day. Our primary play for this Liga Portugal opening night fixture is SC Braga -0.75 Asian handicap -108, with SC Braga 90-minute moneyline -139, serving as a strong secondary selection.
On our last game of the video, when SL Benfica hosts newly promoted Academico de Viseu FC, public bettors routinely get spooked by multi-goal spreads on opening day. But when you evaluate non-penalty expected goals, spatial field tilt, and historical opening round margins against top-flight newcomers, the data points to a complete mismatch. Let's look directly at the process statistics driving the Sunday night match. SL Benfica operates an elite 4-2-3-1 positional scheme. At home, as Águias average 2.18 actual goals per match against a non-penalty expected goals baseline of 2.15 per 90, while conceding just 0.74 NPXGA. They pair that with an aggressive 8.2 PPDA high press and a commanding 67.2% field tilt to lock opponents inside their defensive third. Academico de Viseu faces a major step up in class. Away from home, returning to top-flight football after a 37-year absence, Os Viriatos averaged just 35.5% field tilt on the road. Viseu's low block drops into a passive 15.2 PPDA, surrendering 14.5 shot attempts per road match to survive.
Roster dynamics and final third firepower show a massive structural gap between these two squads. Benfica enters with complete continuity across their central attack. Vangelis Pavlidis, who scored 22 league goals last term, anchors the front line, supported by Orkun Kupcu, Angel Di Maria, and Gianluca Prestiani. With Anatoly Trubin in goal and Nicolas Otamendi organizing the backline, Benfica limits counterattacking risks. Viseu relies heavily on forward Andre Clovis for direct transition outlets. However, facing Benfica's suffocating counterpress, Viseu's defense will be forced to defend inside their own box under continuous physical pressure for full 90-minute stretches.
Now, let me show you where the quantitative market edge resides. Benfica's straight money line at minus 833 requires excessive capital risk. However, sportsbooks price SL Benfica minus 2.0 Asian handicap at minus 110, 1.91 decimal, which carries an implied win probability of 52.36%. Factoring in Benfica's 2.15 home NPXG creation floor and historical opening day goal margins averaging plus 2.40 goals against promoted opposition, our true quantitative model projects a 64.00% probability that Benfica wins by 3 or more goals, with a 2-goal victory pushing to return full stake. Let the public hesitate while we lock in verified mathematical value. Our primary play for this League of Portugal curtain raiser is SL Benfica minus 2.0 Asian handicap at minus 110, with SL Benfica win to nil minus 138 serving as a strong secondary selection. If you want sharp, data-backed sports analytics delivered directly to your feed all season long, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. Drop your score predictions in the comments below and let's run the numbers together. This is Slip Logic. Let's cash on opening weekend.